Cullen live in 1 minute. Welcome to Lynn Cullen Live at pghcitypaper.com. Email your questions and comments to Lynn at pghcitypaper.com.
All righty, here we are. Good heavens. It's the 29th of October, which means Halloween is in a few days. I don't like it. Okay, welcome. And because it's Tuesday, Susan's here from St. Louis. Hi, Suze.
Hi.
Hi. Well, I almost texted you during the game, and then I thought, leave that poor woman.
She knows they're losing. What am I supposed to say?
Leave that poor woman alone. That's what I thought.
Well, here's what I can't stand. What I can't stand is our, quote, ace, unquote, Wainwright, who I must say that every single time I watch him stinks up the joint. So I don't know why we're still calling him our ace. And why we're still calling Waka our rookie.
Young Waka. Waka will forever remain absolutely etched in my memory bank since he ruined my experience.
He's just been the hero of the whole day.
Yeah, that kid. He's what,
season. He
21 or something. He's ridiculous. Well,
22-year-old poised pitcher.
Yeah, really, something.
And he's pitching. He'll pitch Tuesday night. So yeah, my guess is we'll go to 7.
And the 7th game would be played in St. Louis?
No, we have to take 2 in
done.
Boston. It's
okay.
impossible.
No, it's not impossible, but it's unlikely.
Long shot.
Here's what I don't like about Boston. Their beards.
Oh.
It is so disgusting.
Well, and then
why do they do it?
The pitcher on Sunday night did something with his hair. I think he doused it in water and oil, and then he was putting his hands in it, but he just looked drippingly greasy from the first inning. It was disgusting.
Well, I'm not looking as closely as you. But it's interesting that one guy who got a lot of hits last night, his beard, he's got that white stripe in it.
Right.
So that he's a like a silverback. I mean, these guys are, so you're talking about 22-year-old, pitching phenoms and stuff. He's got to be older.
Well, older. I mean,
he's got
people go gray in their 20s, believe me.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how old he is, but so I got to tell you this though, it's been some good baseball, Susan.
It's been the games have been
really good.
Everything that baseball games are supposed to be.
True.
They've been tense. They've had a bunch of errors, but then they've been interesting to watch.
Yeah, it's been good. I really want St. Louis to win it, and you can, but it's going to be harder.
Well, all our mother keeps saying to me is David Ortiz scares her.
Because he's just so...
He always gets on base.
He does. But, your guy, you got a guy like that, too, in Beltran, don't you?
Yeah.
He seems to... whatever. These are two great teams.
Really evenly matched teams. That's what's making it fun.
And the fact that my little team was evenly matched with your team, too, throughout the season.
That's
and
right. They should be holding their heads extremely high.
So, I mean, we could be there, too, maybe, kind of, just for
right.
want of one win. So, but did they start growing those beards, like, at the beginning of the season?
Yeah, I think so.
What was that about?
I don't know.
It's like, the hockey players do that during...
superstitious things.
Oh, but God, now what? Now they'll they're going to have to do that next year, and then somebody else will start doing it. It's just so icky.
Well, it is. I mean,
They look awful.
I mean, you could do lucky underwear and have to wear the same pair of sweaty, disgusting...
Well, I'm willing to bet you somebody does do that.
I'm sure.
So, Susan, there was a bit of a kerfuffle on the show yesterday when I noted that the Los Angeles Times had done a story in which it noted that when you field the Boston Red Sox and the St. Louis Cardinals, the amazing thing is that there's only one African American on the field. So...
Yeah, well, there's been a general exodus, it seems, of...
There's been fewer and fewer
players.
and fewer, and I forget the numbers because I don't have it all.
Yeah, I mean, that's a topic of conversation in St. Louis all the time because it's just disappeared as it used to be a way of life. And it's just disappeared. It's not a sport that black kids
play
these days.
But people are trying to ascertain why that would be, and it's that a lot of African Americans live in urban settings in which baseball fields are few and far between.
Well, so are football fields. That's just plain old poppycock.
Yeah.
That's just nonsense.
Well, then what the hell is it?
It has to do with a shift in what was seen as cool for whatever reason. I think it's because the big money went into football and basketball, and baseball lagged behind. That's what happened. It's interesting because baseball has attracted Hispanics and Asians, and
more and more Asians, that's true. More and more Japanese right. Okay. So, but then we saw the same thing with basketball with the Chinese, Eastern Europeans, all that kind of stuff. So it becomes a global thing.
It becomes a global thing.
Yeah, but wait.
But football is not. Isn't that interesting?
Well, maybe because the rest of the world is smarter to not. I had an interesting conversation with somebody the other day in which they said, and I wish I could remember who said this to me, he or she was willing to go out on a limb and say that it is quite conceivable that in, I think they said 10 years, but I would say that's not, 20 years. I'm going to give it 20 years. Football, as we know it, will not exist.
I think that that's true, and one of the reasons is that parents are deciding that maybe it's not the best idea to push their talented young athletes in that direction.
Yeah, but think of the money.
It'd kill Green Bay.
Think of the money also in terms, but okay, so you have one city that's just totally, it would destroy Green Bay, Wisconsin, but think of the amount of money that the networks make off of football.
Right.
They
the game's going to have to evolve. They're putting sensors in the helmets now to try and figure out how much kabush is too much kabush.
It's all. The fact is while they're doing that, the game is getting more and more violent, not less and less, and so you get. I just don't. I agree with you that there'll be many more parents who will say no. But then you might see a real socioeconomic thing going on where it was always the immigrants and the poor people who were the boxers, because that was a way to get, if you don't have a lot of opportunity, then, if you're athletically gifted and you can conceivably play football, then you can lift your family out of poverty. And so you would sacrifice yourself or your parents would. I don't know. But the fact is, it's becoming more difficult to acknowledge, even for fans, and I'm a fan, that what is going on that field is anything but watching watching young men
the longest time
hurt themselves.
Found it almost impossible to watch it.
I just don't.
When you know that people people just adored, like why am I blanking on his name? Like our Green Bay Packer quarterback,
Bart Starr.
Yeah, Brett Favre.
Oh, Brett Favre. Yeah.
Coming out and saying that, the Rams asked him. Our Sam Bradford got taken out 2 weeks ago, and they called him.
I know. I heard they called Favre. And what did he say?
He said, "I can't.
I can hardly
I've
walk."
Got whole parts of my memory that have disappeared.
Oh, wow. So now that we know this, I mean, we've acknowledged that there is true harm being done to these players.
The people that we profess to adore. Really.
And, like our mother said the other day, the Packers are just so, injured that we have lost all our... I said, Mom, that is true of almost every team. It's you... I'm not misremembering this. You used to be able to watch a football game and not see people literally being carted off every other second, it seems. I mean,
football's had a pretty thug mentality for a while. I mean, they've been exposing it on the college campuses, paid hits, all that sort of stuff. I mean, it's really, and we've obviously these teams have started to select for brutality.
Well, no, but that's there's the local paper, the Post-Gazette, has been excerpting from a book that's due out about the Pittsburgh Steelers of the extraordinary 70s team. And today the excerpt pointed out that like one of the players, Frenchie Fuqua, it now had all the doorknobs taken off in his house because his hands cannot turn a doorknob. So he has like latches that he can pull. He also gets around his house in an electric scooter. He cannot, and they interview.
He has no knees or hips.
Well, no, and they interview player after player after player, and they're in agony. I mean, they are in agony. Most of them say, well, yeah, knowing what I know, would I do it again? Yes, in a heartbeat, they say.
What else are they going to say? But, and then you have players that saying, well, that since we aren't allowed to, hit at the head, guess how many guys are having, their knees just taken out.
Right. And
part of it is just the sheer size.
That's right. The size is bigger.
Of these players, that the force with which these guys get hit, the body can't take it.
And it's bigger. They're bigger, much bigger than they've ever been.
I mean,
and
do you remember when we were growing up, Eddie Glick?
Yeah.
Okay, so Eddie Glick was this little
teeny
Jewish guy. He was maybe 5'2".
Well, no, he might have been 5'5".
Maybe 5'5".
Okay, no need to. If
maybe 5'5". He was this little old guy, and I remember Mother telling me, much to my astonishment that he had been a Green Bay Packer. So I rest my case. They used to be a different size.
Well, no, and all you have to do, if you even that 70s team, if you look at the players on that team
now, they were fast and agile.
They look like pipsqueaks next to the players today. So you've got sort of this like these hybridized, I don't know. I think it's an interesting proposition. Will football in 10, 15, 20 years, will it look like it looks now? Will the game be what it is now? I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know. A lot of people are turning away from it, too, because they feel in good conscience. that it's now no different than watching a bullfight. If you feel sorry for the bull, then why the hell don't you feel
why wouldn't you feel
sorry for the human
all
beings?
the members of all the teams?
I know. And I know people get so upset when I say this is like talking heresy, but I just...
It's not. At a certain point when you have knowledge, it's like you have to admit that what you are watching is a blood sport.
Truly.
And you just have to acknowledge it. If nobody is coming out of it whole, or a majority of your players are coming out of it disabled and dead.
Dying young. They're dying way before their time.
Taking their own lives or just dying.
Or their heads are gone much earlier. I mean, they really, the day...
Or they're
you know that
not
all these wonderful young men that you're seeing out there, that...
and they aren't going on like, I mean, Mother used to talk about all the guys out at the, on the golf course, the old Packers,
like
they were all hobbling.
Ray Nitschke could barely stand up. Right. But she said she just
Bart
saw...
Starr still is in fine shape.
He seems to be.
Car dealership,
He seems to be.
That group was okay. So something's happened between then and now.
Well, I think it's faster, stronger, and just, training, how to train, how to make athletes bigger, better, stronger. All that information has been fed into the mix.
I think there was a real switch in ethics. I got to say this. I think there was a real switch in ethics it wasn't that a good clean hit went to take them out any way you can. Go for it. And if you get them out for the whole season, even better.
But that's one of the things in this excerpt thing that all the players were saying. The game comes down to hit. The game comes down to two bodies coming together as forcefully as they can. And these older players were talking about it, wistfully. I mean, they remember specific hits. That's what it is about.
Yeah, well, I'll quote again Brett Favre, who said that the other thing that he was tired of it. It wasn't fun to get hit anymore.
I wonder what he's doing. I mean, that was his life.
Well, he's as far as I can tell, he's pretty damn depressed.
Sounds it, yeah.
He can't remember whole chunks of his daughter's life, and it's freaking him out.
Well, so, okay, back to baseball?
Back to baseball, sorry.
Okay, so one of our callers called, and he was just freaked that the LA Times would even note that there weren't any black players, and he said it's absurd, and blah, blah, blah. And then he's written in and said, sorry, I'm not apologizing for what I said, but how I said it. Then he said... well, I don't want to get into this. He says that baseball's concern about no black players is driven by demographics, he says, because maybe they think that African Americans will only go to see African American players. And I don't know in St. Louis...
That's not true. I mean, you don't think that there's a lot of black Cardinal fans in St. Louis. You're crazy.
Okay. I would say the Pirate... fans, you see, it's overwhelmingly white. It's overwhelmingly white. And I suppose that's true for the Steelers, too, but that's just about probably how much the damn games cost. But that's not true of the Pirate tickets.
The last time I was at a Cardinals game, I'd have to say it was a majority white audience, but certainly not by any means exclusively. And it really did have to do with the fact that it cost a fortune to get in there. And if you want, the hot dogs are $8 and the beers are 10.
Mm-hmm. Well,
so you do price yourself out of certain demographics, but I just think it's a shift in culture and taste, and I think that you have to look within, any given community to find out why that is. But I think it's more about taste than urban anything.
Ray wrote about it. If there were no, I mean, well, baseball is losing. Baseball is losing its appeal with a large demographic. That's what he thinks, and it is a concern. Baseball wants to appeal to inner city blacks, to Latinos, to Asians, and so on. They don't want. I don't know.
Baseball's totally different pace than our culture. Our culture is a very, immediate attention, to be paid. Things change every second of it. And baseball is a game of patience and tension.
God knows.
And I really do think it's just, training the human brain away from finding pleasure in that. But, I have to say that I didn't grow up a baseball fan, but I've lived in the city long enough that you can't help but be a baseball fan. It's fun.
Colette writes that I heard an interview with Dave Parker, who was a Pirate some time ago, last year, and he talked about this topic of fewer blacks. One thing he said is that there are fewer ball fields and little league teams in the inner city, and that kids prefer to play basketball nowadays. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean,
basketball is much more razzle-dazzle, and they just flat out prefer it because this city is dotted with baseball diamonds, and if the interest were there, the teams would be there. We have fields full in the city all the time.
May I just say one thing? Because we were talking about fewer players, blacks in baseball and this and that. And I just want to say that having used that word, few, I want to, and I don't know if I've said this before, this word is disappearing. Few?
Few?
Yes. And every time...
I say fewer all the time.
Well, you're an old lady, babe. Few.
What do you say instead? Less?
They say less. And it's not correct. And you hear it on the news, and you hear it at, levels where you shouldn't hear it. Everybody says
stand
less.
Stand aside, dearie, because, boy, have you lost out on the gone missing one.
Oh, I hate gone missing.
Yeah, I know, but everybody's gone missing.
I know. Now everybody's gone missing.
The only way you go missing.
You go missing. Remember when someone was just missing?
Right.
But you have to go missing now. I know. It drives me crazy. But few is a nice little 3-letter word. It's a great word, few, and it's gone. Because anyone else, if they were reporting the story, they would say there is concern that there are less African American players. That is, first of all, it's incorrect usage, less there.
Because there are fewer.
You even see in those signs, the express lanes in a grocery store.
Yeah, 12 or less.
Supposed to be fewer.
Right.
It's gone. It is as good as put few with a poor apostrophe, with a simple missing. What is it? And this is what happens, though. I mean, language, they say, evolves. I mean, I often think of evolution as yielding something better, but that's not necessarily the case.
If you want to have a few more, what do you say? You can't say, I want to have a less more.
Well, so maybe...
If you want to have a few more, you just want to have a few more.
I think maybe...
a few is more than a couple.
Okay, so maybe few will live on in that way?
Right.
Give me a few more? Or
Right.
just give me more? Could I just have a tiny bit more? Few.
I'm telling you, when referring to jelly beans or gumdrops, you want a few more.
Give me the bag. Caller, hi.
Sorry to call 2 days in a row, but I want to ask to the baseball thing.
Yes, sir, Mr. Clarence.
Clarence Canonsburg, by the way.
You need no introduction, Clarence.
Was that?
You need no introduction, Clarence.
Oh, okay. I think, because when I was a kid, what we used to do, us poor kids, there was like baseball fields all over the places like you guys were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Just lots of fields to play
Right.
baseball. But our biggest problem were equipment.
That's what I was going to say. You didn't have gloves. You didn't have...
There was probably like one, maybe two bats, a ball that, half of the, is falling apart, the stitches were there, and maybe 3 gloves, that everybody, once the other side got off the, the field, these are pickup games. You throw the gloves to the other guy.
Right.
The other guy.
right.
That kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah, and if the baseball league wants to start building fields and provide equipment, I see no problem with it. Whatever their goals are.
Well, apparently the Major League Baseball they call them baseball academies, and they've actually put money and equipment and all this stuff into urban areas.
Yeah.
But I don't know that it's yielding anything.
Well, I'm sorry. There's one of the Cardinal players.
What? Yeah, Suze?
One of the Cardinal players has a foundation in Puerto Rico, and it's a high school, and it's a baseball high school. But it's academics and baseball, and it's creating a bunch of very fine young players.
Yeah, but
that's like the trick.
Yeah.
The difference between football and basketball and baseball and like hockey is all you need is a ball, one ball, and a bunch of guys.
That's right. It's a cheap game. Yeah. You don't even need you can make a hoop out of a bat. Yeah, you don't need much.
Yeah, and and
to
most
do basketball.
Places have, they might be beat up, whatever, but they have a hoop, like a playground with a hoop, know. And for football, all you need is space. Doesn't have to be a field, just space.
Yeah.
So, and of course, most high schools focus on either football or basketball. You know what I mean?
Well, now that's where the trouble's going to start in high schools, especially like suburban high schools, where parents are not going to want their little boys hurt, and so watch football start to wither in suburban high schools or middle schools.
How many kids? I mean, young kids, like 6, 7, 8 years old, play soccer.
Yeah, they all play.
Reason,
that's right.
Soccer just dies when it gets to the high school level.
Well, I think what'll happen is I bet you've happened upon what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. Soccer will not die at middle school and high school.
Yeah, because that whole football, concussions?
Yeah.
It's getting huge. A lot of people are deciding not to let their kids play
That is correct. That is correct. And all the information about all these former players and all the troubles, physical and mental, that they have, it's just not going to continue.
No, I don't think
I mean, Americans might be generally misinformed and stupid, but when it comes to their own kids, at some point, they're not going to want their kids hurt.
Except in Texas.
Hey, we might, be on the way to seeing football being 100% African American. Who gives a crap about those guys?
Well, you know what? That's
a joke, folks.
No, I got to tell you. Oh, dear Lord in heaven. It already almost is.
It already almost is. It's not a joke.
So what I said about there's no... Yeah, right. I mean, the fact is sometimes, when they introduce, and they introduce the offensive and defensive teams, at the beginning of games, and it's just one black guy after another.
It's sad?
What?
I never noticed it because I never watched football.
Well, I got news for you. There might be an affirmative action program for white guys in the NFL.
Well, there's a few pretty ugly big white guys out there too.
Oh yeah,
yeah, the line guys.
Yeah. Oh no, and the white guys still. I mean, generally, I was going to say our quarterbacks, right?
Yeah, quarterbacks and massive line guys. Yeah, offensive line.
Yeah. Well, okay. Hey, nice to hear from you again, Mr.
Oh, yeah. Hi, Susan. Haven't talked to you.
Hi.
Bye.
Bye. Clarence. All right. Suze, I think we better take a break.
Probably.
Nope, can't. Call. Hello. Hi, caller.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Lynn, I just want to speak about the differences between football and baseball, and being in probably that demographic that nobody cares about. I remember football is the perfect game for television. Ain't technology wonderful? It
Yeah.
goes from side to side. There's a clock, so they know they got to play for 60 minutes, and what a great deal. And it goes from side to side. It's perfect for television. Now, when I was growing up in Pittsburgh in the 60s and the 70s, the home games weren't on television. There was no Root Sports.
Right.
You would listen on the radio
Yes.
to baseball, and they had great play-by-play guys.
Oh,
and
I love baseball on the radio. I love it.
And football, you see it. I mean, if you're going to go see the Steelers play, it's probably best. You get the best seats in the house by watching it on TV.
TV, right?
At a baseball game, just being at the ballpark, you learn. I learned baseball by listening to baseball on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
You imagine what's going on the field when you're listening to the game, and that's how I learned. That's how I learned about baseball, and now everything it's instantaneous. I guess basketball is the same way because it goes from side to side. Same thing. You got a clock.
If you think of most games go side to side. I mean, think of one that doesn't. I mean, baseball, basketball, hockey, soccer. I mean, they do go shuffleboard, for God's sakes. Goes, But here's why football fits on television more so than, let's say, hockey. Not only because the puck is so small, but also because football stops and starts constantly, so that an actual play only takes a few seconds, and then there's a stop. It's the stop. They go back to the huddle, they talk, or a flag gets flown, and it allows for commercial breaks. Hockey and soccer do not allow for commercial breaks, and that's one of the. And they've got to figure out how. That's why television doesn't like those two very much. Really, there's no way to get the advertising in. Right. But I hear you, and you know what I think of? There's certain sounds from your past that are comforting to you, that go all the way back to your childhood, and I would say the train whistles in the night, and also I love the sound of baseball on the radio. There's something comforting to me about it. Something still and quiet, and it just feels good. So I'm with you there. Thank you for the call.
You're welcome.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye. I have to get to a break.
Okay.
Okay, we'll be right back.
With Lynn Cullen Live.
It's here. Attention, everyone. Download the brand new CP Haps app and find out what's going on in Pittsburgh. Text events to 77948 to download now and to be registered to win tickets to the Pittsburgh versus Buffalo at Heinz Field. Or go to your app store to download. The CP Haps app, brought to you by Pittsburgh City Paper.
Come to Little's for all of your back-to-school needs. Little's has everything for all ages to stay in style for this upcoming school season. Check out the large selection from Doc Marten, Steve Madden, UGG, Clark's, Lely Kelly, New Balance, and much, much more. Don't forget to come visit this season's colorful handbag selection as well. Little Shoes, Pittsburgh's largest family shoe store, 5850 Forbes Avenue in Squirrel Hill.
You're listening to Lynn Cullen Live at pghcitypaper.com. Once again, here's Lynn Cullen.
All right, we're back. I thought I didn't have anything to talk about today. My God, now I'm worried I can't get it all in. That's what happens. Susan, you gotta keep your ears. I'm putting this in your head. No, we got another caller. I don't mean to sound upset. Hello.
Oh, hey, I'm sure you're tired of the topic, but it's PJ from Green. I just wanted to.
Yeah, I'm getting there, PJ.
I got worked up yesterday.
Yeah.
My point was not why baseball is African American players are distant from baseball. It was the fact that baseball is so trying to analyze why. And my point is that it's strictly a financial decision for them. And to make it, and the fact that it's a financial decision is what aggravates me so much about it. it's not like they're being altruistic about it and saying we need more black players just because culture would be so much better with diversity in baseball.
You're saying everything. Yeah, well, you're saying everything they do is money. I mean, we need diversity, so we'll have more people who want to watch. I don't know what they're. I don't know. I don't know where it's coming from, but I thought it was an interesting observation that here's the World Series and there's only one African American on the field.
Well, but the fact of the matter is that's making an assumption that. And you know, you could say, why don't they say? And you said there might be a thing, you know, jokingly, tongue in cheek. You said about white players in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
How come they're not saying? It seems to me that they're making an assumption that there should be more blacks in baseball, and I think that assumption is grounded in exactly that, an assumption that is an ignorant point of view. Let's say.
I think it was merely an observation. That's all I think it was. I don't think there was... the article that I read, it was just an observation.
Yeah, but what would make a person make that observation?
I guess a comparison to the past when you were aware.
Where's Barry Bonds?
Willie Mays. There was a time when there were, African Americans when finally, the Major League Baseball integrated, and blacks were not allowed to play for so long, and we often wonder about all the statistics and who the best players were, because the fact is some of those best players.
We're in the Negro Leagues.
In the Negro Leagues. So, I think race and baseball there's a definite history there. And so after Jackie Robinson breaks through and blah, 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 and then there's more and more and more and more and more, and now there's fewer. It's just somebody can ask the question.
To try and figure out what it is culturally that's caused clearly a tide in the community to, that it's not aspired to anymore. Something in that culture
and I find that very interesting,
changed.
and I do find that an interesting observation. But the fact that they're trying to do something about it is what bothers me. To make that observation,
okay, all right.
And then to say, well, obviously there's a problem. We need to do something about that. It makes it business issue that is generated through race, and that aggravates me about it.
Okay. All right.
So,
enough said.
Anyway,
we did it. We're done with it.
Thank you for taking the time.
Thank you, PJ. No
okay,
problem.
but on the same note, and I've actually been wanting to say this since you brought this up, is that my husband and I had noted, totally separate from this topic, that our sampling of Star Spangled Banner singers in St. Louis was woefully lacking. And
I want to say,
that's where, we were looking at each other. We have so many incredible
whoever sang Susan
musical strains in St. Louis. Where are our blues singers? Where are our
right? Who
where
was that
singers?
awful
You know how many
singer?
People they could have had up
Susan.
knocking them dead. And what do we get? Rascal Flatts.
Okay, and it wasn't just Rascal Flatts. There was a woman who sang, who seriously was so awful. She was off key, I thought. And it's all that. And Rascal Flatts, give me a friggin' break. Anyway, I don't know. I agree with you. I agree with you. And St. Louis has...
we have such an incredible...
Some great musical... Yeah, you're right. So, no, but those are the idiots. That's the homogenization of,
so that's where I was noticing a dearth and of black voices that we are frankly, have more than our share of such talent here, and I just couldn't believe it.
Well, then that tells you something else, though, about the people who are producing the show.
Why would they select that way?
Well, because they know their audience, and their audience is white. I think. Middle America.
Probably.
Okay, okay, Ray writes, and this is the last thing we're saying about this. When Danny Murtaugh, that's Pirate Susan, fielded the first all-black lineup, that was worth noting. Right. Okay.
All right.
That's it. We'll just let this one go. Susan, I wanted to say to you, just start, if you hear it in me, I want you to, how I got rid of, what was that word you always said that annoyed me?
Spectacular.
Yeah. There were years there where everything was spectacular.
And you chided me, and I simply stopped.
Yeah, I never hear it from you anymore. I made you self-conscious about it, which is great. So you stop saying spectacular. I don't know what you say now, but maybe...
Well, I use it every once in a while judiciously.
If I'm not in earshot, too. Okay, so here's what I'm noticing about my speech. And I said this yesterday, but I'm alerting as many people in my orbit to tell me, is this true or not? I'm not hearing it today. But, Susan, I'm starting to hear sometimes in my own lingo, Valley Girl. I'm hearing little,
You mean your voice is going up at the end?
I'm hearing
You're succumbing?
I'm hearing my voice go up. Yeah, I am on occasion. I sometimes will find myself speaking in little bursts, because that's part of it too. You do like little bursts, and at the end your voice goes up. And I found, especially if I'm trying to explain something.
There you go.
There, I know. What?
Because you should have said it. It happens, especially when I'm trying to
explain something. That
all right,
is
well, I'll let
right.
you know about that one, sister.
Okay, because...
Yuck.
Well, here's what I read somewhere that some linguist said that they think the Valley Girl thing is going to catch on, and that
That's right.
and that is how we're going to talk, and it will not be considered, to be airheady, because that's how more and more people are choosing to talk like that. That
right.
is
well, but along with that Valley Girl thing, I always sort of put the inappropriate dress, that part where the skirts are so short that they don't even have to bend over because you can already see their underwear. Or or there's cleavage or 18-inch heels, and they're going to the office in their cocktail dress. I call it the dynasty effect on women's clothes.
Oh.
That's an 80s reference. Sorry.
Yes, that's a very old
but
reference.
I swear that's where it started. When these TV shows, started suggesting that women wear evening gowns or cocktail dresses to the office. Or cocktail suits to the office. But a law firm in New York actually put out a list only to its women attorneys
about what they should wear.
About appropriate dress and behavior.
I saw that. Isn't that unbelievable?
How? This is
2013 is what the year is.
2013, and this is why, folks, I am a recovering attorney. Because lawyers do not understand certain facets of the law. That is, male lawyers.
Keep talking.
You got to keep talking. I will keep talking.
Oh, that's a first. I never have sneezed on the air. I have never. Excuse me. I don't think in 35 years.
Bless you.
The only thing you can say to make me stop talking is keep talking.
Okay. I could feel, I knew I was going to sneeze. I might sneeze again.
I could tell what was happening.
You could?
Well, I guess for no good reason, because it wouldn't even be help if I were watching, but no, I could tell.
Oh my God.
But anyway, that's the first thing I thought of, was all of these just like out there stuff that when I was a young woman starting to practice law, and the worst of it was coming from male judges and male attorneys and a few male clients.
Right.
But to know that at one of the top New York law firms, that sort of excuse me shit is still going on makes me
crazy.
Really fighting mad.
Yeah, I hear you. I remember it was
It also makes me wonder, how are these women dressing?
Well, I got to tell you, some women
That didn't come out of nowhere, girl.
Okay, but I got to tell you, some women do not seem how to dress, and there is that dynasty thing. And I sometimes see people walking down, and who cares? I mean, I don't really care, but sometimes I think, geez, well, if you're wearing that now, what do you wear to a party?
Right.
Because I see women wearing like sequins, Susan. Sequins and chiffon and going to work, and I think no, I don't think that's what you wear to work. I do see a lot of that, don't you?
Yes.
All right, but I think anything goes now, and so that's what. And people.
But the problem is anything doesn't go.
Oh, I guess that's true. Wait, I've got something that says epic here. We got to do that. Since you said about a word that Susan would say that you didn't like, my word that media and a lot of people are saying is epic. Really? Mm-hmm. Oh, Jess says, yeah. Every event or happening is epic. Oh, I haven't. No, now that you've said that, I'll notice it. I haven't noticed that one. Epic. I hate epic. I hate awesome. I hate heroic. Oh, God, that's totally
well, yeah.
pulverized.
When I told you my favorite columnist here happened to mention that merely serving in the armed forces did not a hero make.
What was he? He was like tarred and feathered.
It turned into national news. The whole Fox News. You know
what? Because
media just came down on him. He was
right.
laughing about it.
Well, I hope so.
15 minutes of fame.
Friggin' dunderheads. Okay, here. I got to get a break in here. What have we been talking? I mean, this is ridiculous. I still haven't gotten to anything. Jess, did I not say when I came in, I hope Susan's in a talkative mood because I got butt kiss here. I got nothing. And we still haven't even touched the little piddling crapola I brought in.
Yeah, I can BS my way through an hour or four, no problemo.
Yeah, well, it runs in the family. We got to get a little break and we'll be back.
Stick around for more with Lynn Cullen Live after this.
Hi, Lynn. Les Ludwig, your scandal-free independent candidate for mayor of Pittsburgh, the founder of a program that produces revenue opportunities for government, the best long-term news in town. No longer the usual wait for taxes to go up at budget time. Pittsburgh's home, and I've brought a new way to finance government to city council. That thinking is spreading like fire, with 7 cities from Philly to L.A. building finance programs based on it. An example, one community in California has signed a long-term $600,000 per year contract with a soft drink company. Right now, we have over $1 million that may be used to reduce taxes right here in Pittsburgh. Stay tuned as I work as your mayor, building new thinking for a better future. Vote Ludwig, the only scandal-free independent candidate.
Paid for by Les Ludwig for mayor of Pittsburgh.
Here at the GED Pep Talk Center, we've got a pep talk that can motivate you.
Sometimes things don't always turn out the way you want them to.
You can improve your future. Now get your game face on and take the first step towards a better life. Hurry up. Don't make me repeat myself.
Whatever level of motivation you need, we've got a pep talk for you. Call 1-877-38-YOUR-GED or visit yourged.org for your pep talk and for free classes in your area. GED is a registered trademark of the American Council on Education. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Now, it's back to Lynn Cullen Live at pghcitypaper.com.
Okay, so, Susan,
yeah.
I did something. I was at an event last night, a fundraising kind of thing, and I was doing some bartending at it in a real, bar.
Right.
And people were engaging me, and I was leaning over and talking to them. I was wearing something that sort of hung loosely, and the whole time I'm leaning there talking, half of my top was in the sink. It was filled. It was water where they washed the glasses, and I was dripping wet. Anyway, the probably mayor to be, the Democratic nominee for mayor, election is next, was there. And I walked up and started giving him trouble, which is what I do. I saw the look on his face as I approached him. He looks scared when I come near him. He always does. I don't know why. I've always been nice to him.
I know, but and I mean this in the most kindest possible way, you can sometimes be just a tad overwhelming.
And I actually had trouble sleeping last night because I think I might be getting a little too much and out of control. Because I did, at one point, I reached up to just put my hand on his face, and he visibly recoiled. And I thought, oh my God! Okay, I said, he recoiled!
Well, that's a sign.
It was a sign, wasn't it?
Yes.
I don't know how to dial
That's worse than the Valley Girl stuff, I'll tell you.
Oh, yeah. No, I see people. And then there was this other man who I didn't even know, but at some point he said, "Why do you keep hitting me?" And I kept going like this to him. And Susan,
I know exactly what you were doing. That is one of the things you do.
Because I remember once hitting your husband too hard. I remember the howl.
Right.
And he
you
said,
whacked me a few times recently,
he
too.
said, "Stop hitting me." I thought, I better go home. My God. The mayor's recoiling. This poor guy.
It's okay. It's okay. You just have senior onset of hyperactivity disorder.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
I don't know, but I think it's a bit much, and I'm worried about turning into a cartoon. I am. Anyway. So, we all have our... Oh, this is unbelievable. Joseph has written in and said, "I do remember you sneezing on the air."
Sure.
And he really does, because he says it was sometime around 94 or 95. And I'll never forget you saying how orgasmic you found it was to sneeze. So he does remember. Well, it is orgasmic, isn't it? It's a great... only not if you have to have 15 uncontrollable ones in a minute. It isn't. Well, that falls under the same sort of title of for an erection lasting longer than 4 hours.
Longer than 4 minutes. Get yourself to.
If you have sneezed more than 40 times in a row, please. Yes, that's too many orgasms. Are you watching that Masters and Johnson's thing? No. Should I?
Only if you like softcore porn.
No. Nah. I know a lot of people who are watching it, though.
I know. I find the script woefully, not enough lacking as an excuse for the softcore porn.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're doing Masters and Johnson, because that's what they did. They sat and watched people, right? Didn't they? There's a lot of voyeuristic stuff.
Yeah, we knew him.
Masters.
We knew them.
Well, because all that was in St. Louis. That's right. They must have been odd.
They were odd.
I think they were odd.
Particularly him.
Him. Yeah, strange.
He had the wildest eyes. I mean, he looked vaguely deranged.
Uh-huh. Well, he did a great service.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did, but still odd. So what do you think about the cemetery in Ohio that made them remove the
SpongeBob
SpongeBob SquarePants monument?
I gotta tell you.
Wait, because Jess doesn't. Okay, so this is a Iraq War veteran, a woman, Kimberly Walker. She was a 28-year-old Army sergeant. She died, I think, in the war. I don't know.
Yeah, I think
in the war, and she was totally she was buried with a SpongeBob SquarePants doll. And her mother erected a SquarePants SpongeBob over her, and the cemetery made her take it.
And she got prior permission.
But they made her take it down. Now, I think this is an interesting issue because where I was thinking, if you were the more staid person who was lying in repose next to Sergeant Kimberly Walker, you wouldn't like that SpongeBob SquarePants thing there right next to you.
Yeah, but but where does that stop?
Okay,
so here's if you wanted a small, quiet, dignified headstone, and the guy next to you builds a pyramid.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Well, I'm sure, but cemetery... but...
At a certain point, if you allow anything other than a uniform headstone, I think, once you gave the lady permission...
You should let it be.
It's pretty hard
but
to
I
take
can
it
see
away.
where...
I mean, they've offered to reimburse her and everything.
I know, but... I can see both sides in this, and maybe there should be...
I could see if she didn't have to have it be 6 feet tall.
Was it 6 feet tall?
It was huge.
Do you know how much that she had a SpongeBob 6 feet tall carved?
It was $13,000 worth of granite.
Jeez. Well, wouldn't be my choice.
No.
But I was thinking that maybe there should be a cemetery for people who want to do something a little different.
Yeah, but if you go to the children area of cemeteries, they got teddy bears, they got all sorts of things.
Yeah, it looks
And if you go to the grown-up section of certain cemeteries, the monstrosities that people erect, to their, oversized egos are sometimes amusing. I don't see the difference, really.
Yeah. Lynn, here's somebody else. You did sneeze. And you said you'd never done that. Oh, someone just wrote in, he says. But I recall it from here on the City Paper video feed you sneezed. Oh, so that might have been my third sneeze. I keep thinking I never did. And then he writes, Lynn, what is your title? I don't have no title. Are you an internet talk show host? Yeah. Isn't that what I am? It is difficult for me to call in because the rates are expensive from Dubai. Well, yeah. Here in the UAE, you are on from 6 to 7 p.m. I thought you were supposed to be in Singapore. This is Bree from Singapore. This guy gets around. I would never go to the Dubai, any of those places.
Well, you're a woman, don't.
That's what I'm saying. I can't even imagine. So Mary sent me a picture of herself in her Halloween costume, she went as yellow journalism, and which is inventive. She has tabloids posted all over her and stuff like that, yellow journalism. And she was humiliated at the party she went to because nobody knew what yellow journalism was.
Well,
yeah, and
I can understand it is a term sort of out of the
last 2 centuries.
Right.
It was like yeah. But we should know. I remember my own son once said to me when he was a little kid, "I got a really scary idea for a costume, Mom." I said, "What?" He said, "I'm going as a Jim Crow law." That's the same kind of thing.
Sure it is.
I don't know what a Jim Crow law would look like, but I remember he said that when he was about in 3rd or 4th grade. I thought that was brilliant, even though it seemed a little strange. Okay, here's some good news. Police officer Vicky Thomas, this is in Miami, came upon a woman shoplifting groceries. I guess the police were called. And she talked to the woman. Woman was relatively penniless. She had kids at home. And rather than arrest her, this officer bought
Paid for
her
the groceries.
$100 worth of groceries.
Right.
And she said, looking at those children open the bags of, I guess she must have taken her home, open the bags of food was like Christmas. That's $100 to me was well worth it. Now, there's...
That's what, good law enforcement is.
Yeah, but not out of her own... but you can't expect cops to do that out of their own pocket. But she knew that... It just shows how we're not doing anything right.
Well, it shows how far we've come from since Les Miserables.
Not very.
Not very. Because people are still stealing food.
And here on the other side, this is next door in Ohio. Police arrested a unemployed woman in Ohio, for stealing $2.87 in coins from a fountain. She told the cops, "I'm just trying to feed myself." $2.87.
Let's cut food stamps some more.
I think that's a wonderful idea. And, we got this conservative governor next door in Ohio, Kasich.
Yeah.
He's from Pittsburgh. This is interesting. His Christianity kicked in.
Yeah.
And he actually is saying things now like, there is a war on poor people going on.
Yeah.
And it's his party, and he knows it.
There sure is. It's about time somebody on his side noticed that.
Yeah. Now, if you're a real cynic, you could charge that he's just positioning himself so he can get reelected, because it's sort of that's state.
If in the meantime he actually expands Medicaid and does all those things and puts programs in place,
good.
Who cares why he's doing it?
Exactly. That's true.
Altruism is overrated. If you do the right thing for the wrong reasons, it's still the right thing.
Okay, and we have one more question, and Susan, I'm sending this to you because I'll be damned if I could answer it. Where is it? Here. This is also from the guy in Dubai. I've been reading about Obamacare. It is impossible to not see reports about the website that is not working. But then I saw an article today that Ronald Reagan's daughter tweeted that she is losing her health care. And another article mentioned a woman whose medical premium was $54 and now it's $590. What is going on? What is the truth?
Probably all of that. There are a bunch of plans that, because they did not meet the minimum requirements of what a plan should cover, the insurance company, most notably Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield, of course,
has canceled those plans.
Canceling those things. And what they're offering in instead, is a program that gives these people a lot more benefits, but they're charged for them.
Right.
So basically what happened is that the Affordable Care Act established a base level below which insurance was not going to be considered insurance.
Right.
And the people that were limping along
with such plans,
this kind of insurance might very well, some people might very well see their premiums
That's
go
true.
up.
Okay, that is true.
Yeah, it is true.
So, thank you, Susan. I think that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
So, okay, you got the night off, and then the game is Thursday?
Yeah.
Well, good luck.
Thanks.
I'm glad I don't have to do these. I'm watching, but geez.
Oh, no. I can't tell you. I'm getting more done.
Yeah, I bet. No, if you're cleaning closets, because yeah.
No, I haven't stooped to cleaning closets yet, but everything else looks pretty damn good.
Right. Clean out your purse, clean out the drawers, clean out anything in the room with a television in.
My kitchen is
spotless. I know. That's what happens, because you cannot sit still and you can't bear to quite watch. Gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
Love to you and
Love to you
and
too.
Aaron and everybody else. And you going to check on Mom now? Is she back?
Oh, well, I don't think she's back yet, but pretty soon, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
And bye the rest of you. Tomorrow, Jared Day from Daily News Nuggets. This is going to be, he says, a smart cookie. We're going to pick his brain.
Lynn Cullen Live, Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and archived at pghcitypaper.com. The opinions expressed on Lynn Cullen Live are those of the host and do not necessarily reflect the viewpoints of Pittsburgh City Paper, Steel City Media, and its advertisers.